this is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Let's go to Bill O'Reilly,
who also is a very loud voice and
I
a great
was with
voice.
Bill O'Reilly at the Yankee game on Friday afternoon, and it was a great game. It was a beautiful day. And
they killed the Marlins, right? They beat them big time.
8-2, and Bill O'Reilly, it was good to see you.
You know, I'm enthusiastic about both teams. Looking for that Subway Series, boy. New York needs a lift that would provide it.
Well, you know, I told our friend, the mayor, that if New York needs a lift, let's build another World's Fair.
Yeah, and we could just house a lot of people there at night.
No, the housing goes in Rikers Island.
Yeah. Could be a dual thing here.
You know, Bill, let's talk about, speaking of lifting American spirits, boy, was this incredible, the details of going in and getting the second airman. First of all, we found some really harrowing details of getting the first one. It was in daytime, and now the second one. And I cannot imagine a more incredible outcome of getting this guy almost 2 days in a crevice after climbing 7,000 feet, bleeding profusely. I mean, this is to me, I think every American should be so incredibly proud.
I hope so. I hope it's a morale lifter for this very intense time in our history. And that's what the Trump administration wanted to accomplish. I think they did. Although you're going to have tonight, and you mark my words, tomorrow you'll be talking about it, war crimes now.
Oh, already? Bill, I cannot believe it already. How could they say that?
Because it comes out of a political action committee in D.C., the same phraseology, and the new thing is war crimes. And, you know, if you're a historian, and I wrote Killing Patton, Killing the Rising Sun, well, we won those wars largely because we destroyed the infrastructure of our enemies. That's why we won them. And Nagasaki, Hiroshima, Dresden, it all shows that. But I guess history has changed now. But that they're going to try, the Trump haters, to obscure the heroism of the military by throwing the war crimes label out there. That's what will cable tonight and tomorrow, and in the New York Times already done it.
And Bill, it's Richard Weinberg, and if anybody knows anything about the law, this is clearly not a war crime. It's a ridiculous false accusation. It's totally justifiable. You can go after the means of supporting the military that's working against you and fighting against you.
Yeah, I want to explain to everybody where they're coming with the war crimes. They're saying because President Trump hit the largest bridge. Well, he hit the bridge because the IRGC was underneath it and operating it. And guess what? That is fair game. I said it earlier, all's fair in love and war.
And again, that goes back to the ridiculous doctrine of so-called proportionality, which is nonsense. And that's also not a matter of
let's
the law of war.
I want to say it very not easy, so everybody in a million people listen to it. What they're talking about is we hit a bridge that was being used by the Iranian military and the Iranian force. Right?
Yeah, and they're saying also civilians use
because
it.
Was it the New York Times that put out that Trump hit, and it really pissed off Trump.
Yeah,
that Trump hit the bridge that was a civilian bridge.
Right. And
they only hit a 4-foot track or something?
a section of it. So it took it out. And underneath was the IRGC. By the way, John, also today in the briefing, I think one of the most, Bill, I don't know if you saw the briefing today with the president and the secretary. Did you see he went after the New York Times reporter asked some questions and his first question was, what about the war crimes? And the president said, well, who are you? He said, New York Times. But that exchange was wild.
Well, they ran a piece yesterday, the New York Times did, setting the whole thing up. This all comes from the United Nations, which Americans should understand. We did not sign this treaty. We're not privy to it. And in the treaty, it says that if you attack any civilian infrastructure, that's considered a war crime. Well, okay. But in every country, the military operates in or around the civilian infrastructure. Gaza is the best example of that. So Hamas actually built its command and control underneath hospitals. And the reason that the civilian casualty rate was so high was because the terrorists in Gaza understood what this UN thing was. And then they made all of their arrangements to make sure they were shielded by civilians. So that's where it comes from. Now, in Iran, they've done pretty much the same thing. The Revolutionary Guard headquarters is not above ground. It's below ground. But on top of that headquarters are electrical grids to make sure that there's enough power for the Iranian, you want to call them terrorists, I don't have a problem with that. They just killed 30,000 of their own people. But this is how they get around it. And what's really disturbing to me as a journalist is that the media in America is so compliant with this. I expect this from France and Germany and NATO. I expect it. All right, they don't like Trump because of Greenland, because he's a strong-arm guy, because he made him pay his dues. We got it. But your own country, where you have your own countrymen, military people who could be killed at any minute, and you're throwing up war crimes, when you got to know it's just phony garbage, that's really heinous to me.
Yeah, I agree. It's un-American. I mean,
I just want to get Bill's opinion. I mean, the UK is against us. Austria last week went against us. The president said today Australia didn't help.
South Korea didn't help.
South Korea didn't help. I mean, who's on our side? I mean, the Arab nations are on our side. But, the Arab nations are profiting. You know how much money they're making? 80 million barrels a day times overcharging $30 a barrel. What's $80 million barrels a day times $30 million is how much?
Tony, what do you think? You want to give a rough estimate?
Times $30 a barrel.
2.4
Is it 2.4 billion or 24 billion?
There's an extra zero in there somewhere.
We're going to get a calculator. But anyway, go ahead.
The calculator doesn't go up that high.
Wait. There's only one person in this studio who went to Brooklyn Tech, and that's John.
Maybe I'll call the guy who went to Bronx Science.
2.4 billion is what we're being told by Phil. 2.4 billion.
2.4 billion a day. Extra.
And he didn't go to Brooklyn Tech.
Extra, but he's got a
Not
calculator.
a bad day.
Yeah, he's got a calculator.
Extra per day. This is what the Arab money is making. I just want a little secret between us guys and girls.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
And Russia.
And you know what? I was on radio the other day, and I don't even know who I talked to. I talked to too many people. Is with the first time ever, WTI, which is American crude oil, and we have zero shortages. It went above Brent oil, which is the European and Asian. First time ever. Never happened in 50 years. And you know who's doing that? The traders. Let's say I'm not going to name names. One of the Asian companies calls up one of the American companies. I want to buy 100 million barrels. I'll pay you 100, but you can sell it back to me at 102 next day, and I can sell it back to you for 105 the next day. That's what you call ping pong.
Mm.
All right?
Profiteering, yeah.
And nobody is going to do anything about it. But I just want the American people know what is really, really going on, why you're paying $3 or $4 for your gasoline, because it's not the oil refiners, it's not the gasoline stations. It's the oil companies that take it out of the ground and playing ping pong with each other.
Bill, your reaction, that's a biggie.
But the American oil companies have some exposure here because they could.
Well, they're doing Washington. I'm not mentioning names. They're doing Washington a favor on Venezuela, so I think Washington will keep their mouth shut.
Well, maybe that's true, but the oil companies are gouging during a war, and they shouldn't. They should keep you want to say artificially low? Okay, I'm with that. Let's give the American consumer a break. Why not? You're going to have record profits anyway because people around the globe are going to have to buy American oil. This isn't going to go away in a minute. Well, even if the Hormuz Straits open up, it's going to take
Bill,
6 months.
Unfortunately, I was so glad to see you on Friday. You're looking great, and we got to move on. Anything else you want to tell the American people?
Yeah. Hey, Bill. I'm curious. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow night? What do you think? He set a deadline.
I think there'll be an extension, but that's a guess.
Yeah, there may be. He may be. I mean, if he says he's close, because he already extended it one day. It was supposed to be today. Bill, final thoughts.
Well, look, if the Iranians show any kind of give, and it all has to be in the nuke area, then Trump would be wise to extend the deadline to show the world, hey, we don't want to do this. So it's a psychological play. Iran's going to be there in a week. You know what I'm talking about? So I think there's a chance that deadline may be extended. If I had to bet, I'd kind of put it there.
Well,
we'll see what happens, boy.
Listen, we don't have to wait a week to find out what happens.
No, especially not in Trump time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
This is Roger Stone for American Sovereign Bullion. Since 2020, the U.S. dollar has lost over 20% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to rise. Call 844-272-2428 or go to asbgold.com now to get your free gold and silver guide and learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver delivered to your door or held in a gold IRA today. So go to asbgold.com now. Don't wait for the markets to drop. That's asbgold.com.